Kitkats can read. Hello everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to my August TBR game, World of Kitkats. For those of you that aren't familiar with my TBR game, I will leave a link down below in the description to the playlist of my World of Kitkats other TBR games. I've been changing prompts like each month, but I am going to be like keeping this towards the same. There are two readathons that are happening in August. One is my own readathon, which is the benchathon, which is basically a whole month where you read all your bench books, whether it's books that you've put down, so you've like started and haven't finished, books that you've had on your shelves like just sitting there and you haven't got round to, books in series that you haven't got round to reading, arc books that you need to get like read, you know, anything that you want to use towards that, feel free to use it. Really, it's just like a whole month of like reading books together, and you know, it's great to do this kind of like halfway through the year where we can just pretty much like catch up with our goals as well, so use it as like a goal catch up too. But yeah, anything and everything, you know, books that you were gifted, books that you've just like, you know, had sat there waiting, library books or something, you know, just use anything towards that. So I thought it's great to have that in August. And there's also the Witchathon, that is the round 2, and that is happening like pretty much the whole of August, and I'm a co-host for that, the lovely sound from Yon Reader. I will link the videos to both of those announcements down below in the description for you to check out if you haven't done already. But I'm going to be deciding my World of Kitkats TBR today, so I'm just going to keep it nice and easy and simple. Sometimes I have like 5 prompts, sometimes I have 3, so I'm going to start with 3 today and just see where I go. Basically, if I roll a double, I add on a prompt, and that's just that. I don't have any like punishments or rewards for my TBR game because I don't really want to kind of like punish myself just because I didn't get around to reading, especially if it's like something that wasn't my fault. I am going through quite a lot in my life at the moment, especially with like moving, purchasing a new property. There have been loads of like difficulties with that at the moment, so it has been a massively stressful time. So I don't want to be like overloading myself with too much. At the same time, I just want to keep it like nice, free and simple, and be choosing books that I would like to read as well. I am very much a mood reader, so even doing this TBR game is quite difficult at times, but I just try to allow it. So for example, if a free choice is what comes up and I put a book towards it, then you know, it could be that later on in the month I want to swap it out for something, then I'm allowing myself to swap a free choice book, which I did in July, and honestly it made me feel like so much better. So like I'm going to kind of allow the free choice swaps again. And the same with like, you know, if a prompt of like, let's say for example a fantasy came up and if I want to swap for a different fantasy, then I can allow myself to do that, as long as I sort of stay within the actual prompt. But unless an actual book comes out, then obviously I would have to stick to the book. But yeah, so here we go with my August World of Kitkats TBR. Hey guys, welcome to my World of Kitkats TBR board. We have my board right here. This is where I clip my colour cats onto. These are my colour cats. I've got my 2 dice and my counter. So as always, I always start off the board and then the red cat is like number 1. I don't like change it every week, it's just the same. I just sort of like every month just start by right at the very bottom. Basically I just sort of go around in a little wiggle like this once I reach the top, and then jump straight down to this next one again. It's just until I get all the colour cats. Also, I have set myself a rule where I can't land on a colour cat or treat yourself more than 2 times. So if I do land on it a 3rd time, then I just roll again until I get a different colour cat. That way it just gives me a bit more variety. I get to use my other TBR games as well. So yes, without further ado, let's start rolling for prompt number 1. So we have a 5 and a 2, which is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have landed on a green cat. So we get our green cat from here. There's one right here, and then we just clip it onto the clipboard here so that we know what colour cats we get. Okay, so prompt number 1 came out, which was a green cat. For the green cat, it's to choose either an audiobook, an ebook, or a review book, which is like a different format to like what I normally read, because obviously a normal fictional book, and you know, this gives me the chance to branch out by either listening to something or reading it electronically or picking a review book. So I have gone towards like the ebook side / review, because I did have an e-arc of this, and then I ended up getting a physical copy because I met the author at Yalc and I wanted to get my book signed and personalised. And so this book is Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Camera. So yeah, I luckily got an e-arc of this on NetGalley, and then when I went to Yalc, I think I got this from Foyles, and then yeah, so when I was thinking about this, I was like, well, I've got it as an e-arc and I've got it as a physical book, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Also, it's Bridget Camera, one of my favourite authors. She's an auto-boat author for me. She is just one of my faves. And so yes, this is like her new book, and this is about an ancient magic, a newfound love, a dark fate, a stunning new epic fantasy. And yeah, I just want to kind of like go into it blind, really, but it's just basically about magic that has been banished in the kingdom of Seal Shadow, and times are changing. Magic has returned in a form of a magesmith king on the throne. Magic won't save Jax or his best friend Callan when the tax collector comes calling. Jax and Callan are desperate enough to take a stranger's silver and to aid an anti-magical plot against the king. Jax develops feelings for the king's courier, handsome Lord Taicho, a man determined to discover who's conspiring against the throne. Sonny, Jax and Callan are embroiled into a world of shifting alliances, dangerous flirtations and an age-old magic. Even the deepest loyalties will be tested. I am very like super excited to read this because I just have loved so many of Bridget's books now, and yeah, I feel like this is going to be a 5-star prediction. So yeah, fingers crossed that is the rating that I do end up giving it. Okay guys, rolling for prompt number 2. 5 and a 1, which is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a pink cat. So we get our pink cat right here, and we put the pink cat onto the clipped board.
You want to play with the golden eggs, Luna? 3 golden eggs with some prompts in. Which one you going to touch first? Which one? Oh, this one. Thank you very much, Luna. Thank you. Good girl. Nutmeg.
So, book number 2, prompt number 2 that came out goes towards the golden eggs. It was the pink cat, and I basically chose 3 golden eggs that had 3 prompts inside because I'm obviously trying to read like some books that I've, you know, had for a while or whatever. So I had new purchase, I had currently reading, and I had something else, I can't remember, review book I think, and I got Luna to pick, as you would have seen, and the egg that she chose is this one, so I get to see which one she chose out of those 3. And oh, so she's chosen a new purchase, which is really handy because although I'm doing Benchathon, these books are also on my TBR as well, and it's still killing some books off my TBR. So this is perfect because I really wanted to put on my TBR Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, which I've recently hauled, and it's so super shiny. But yeah, it's my Waterstones exclusive signed edition. And it's like about these 2 characters, and they play video games, they meet in a hospital in 1987, and they share their love of video games, and then they meet many years later, like 8 years later, and they go back into like video games and stuff, and like it just sounds so cool. I've had amazing things about it, and yeah, I'm super excited to give this a read. And then could this be our 3rd and final prompt for the month of August? Let's find out. 4 and a 2. 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another green cat. So our final 2nd green cat goes onto the clipboard like so. And those are green cats. Green, pink and green, and that is what I'm reading for August. And if I do happen to read those 3 cats, then I will film another World of Kitkats clip of an updated TBR game. And then my final prompt that came out was another green cat, which again, ebook, audiobook, review book, and I've done exactly the same. I had this book as an ebook and I did start reading it a couple of months ago, and then I just didn't get around to finishing it, so I will start from the beginning again. But then I saw the physical copy at Yelp and I purchased it, so I'm doing exactly the same thing. I am reading the book physically and having the e-arc as well, so it is a review book, and this is Cafe Con Lychee by Emery Lee. So I was really enjoying what I had read from it so far, but yeah, I couldn't for the life of me kind of like massively remember. I know that there was kind of like this like obvious feud thing at the beginning. Yeah, so it's male romance as well, rivalries with food. That's all you pretty much need to know. Two rivaling families pretty much with their food, restauranty places, with their cafes. So yes, I'm super excited to get around to reading this again, and yeah, getting the review book done and completed too. The late night Bookworming book club for the month of August has just been revealed, which is great, good timing. And so the book that won the poll is actually a book that I did own. I didn't realise I owned it. I could not remember for the life of me the cover. And when Hope mentioned like, oh yeah, like it's a Fairy Loot book from like December last year, and I was like, what? Like seriously? And yeah, I owned it too, so that's handy. I don't have to purchase it, which is great. This is Year of the Reaper by Makia Lucia. So yes, it's fantasy. 3 years ago, Lord Cassia disappeared into the midst of a war on a mission entrusted to him by the king. A devastating plague swept the land, leaving countless dead and the kingdom forever altered. Having survived a rotting prison cell and a merciless illness, Cass is now 18 and wants to return to his home in the mountains and forget the past horrors. Home's not what he remembers. His castle's become a refuge for the royal court, and they have brought their enemies with them. An assassin targets those closest to the queen. Cass is then drawn into a search for a killer, one that leads him to form an unexpected bond with a brilliant young historian named Lena. Cass and Lena soon realise that who is behind the attacks is far less important than why, and they must look to the past following a trail of terrible secret, one that could threaten the kingdom's newfound peace and plunge it back into war. So the live show of this will be halfway through September. So it's always like the second Saturday pretty much into the month. So yeah, it'll be like pretty much that date. I don't know whose channel it's going to be on as of yet, so that's like to be confirmed, because we have got Unravel Me by Tara Muffy, which is also July's book, and this you can read as well up until like midway through August, because that's when the live show for this one's going to be. So yes, as well, I have only just started this one and we've got like a week left of July, so I'm hoping to get that completed by then. But yes, this will be the one that we read during the month of July and like halfway through September, so it gives you like 6 weeks to get hold of the book and to get it read. So yeah, I hope you guys can join us for the live show. All of the details, as always with the book club, is linked down below, and yeah, you can vote on the Twitter polls like each month. And yeah, you can also have a say in like what books and stuff. If you like, just let us know if there's a book that you'd like us to read, and then we can kind of like pitch it towards the poll. So yeah, hope you guys can grab a copy of this and give it a read. Okay guys, as always each month I do choose a book from my top books to read in the year. I haven't been doing very well with getting around to reading these, so I still have 10 books. And yeah, it's disappointing to say the least. So let's see what book comes out for the month of August. What colour? I've chosen this yellow one, and this yellow one is, now is it going to be These Vine Delights or The Raven Boys? No word of a lie guys, it's The Raven Boys. So I have another chance with August with The Raven Boys. And then, as you would have seen, the grab machine has given me another chance to read this book, because I don't believe I will have time to read this in the month of July, so it's handy that I'm able to push it forwards to August as well. So if I can somehow start it like in the last week of July, then great, but if not, I've got the whole of August as well. So that is for The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, book 1 in the Raven Cycle series. And yeah, this is also a book that I've had on my TBR for so long. It's been out for a fair few years now, so yeah, this would be great for the Benchathon as well, and also for, I want to say, like for the Witchathon as well, like, because, you know, Raven. And yeah, like, fingers crossed I can get around to reading this one and hopefully enjoying it, because I hear massive things about their series. So there you have it, guys. That's the end of my TBR. I've got 5 books mentioned, which I'm feeling pretty good about. I have put like 3 books towards this TBR I was able to choose from, and then the book club read, as well as a book that I want to read this year that I'm given another chance to read. In terms of like my TBR for the Witchathon, I'm just gonna kind of like be picking books from my TBR and just putting those towards prompts, and then if I somehow get all of those read and completed, then I'll try to like see if I can knock off like other prompts. But I don't hold massive hopes, because my reading isn't like the best, because it's very slow. I do take a while to go around to reading stuff, and there's, like I say, like I've mentioned, there's a lot that's going on in my life at the moment, so it's really hard to determine like how my reading's going to go. Sometimes it does really well, sometimes it really doesn't, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. I am reading, it's just that I'm not reading as much as I would like to. So yeah, that is it for my August World of Kitkats TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these books: Forging into Stars, Tomorrow, Kafka and Lightyear, The Reaper and the Raven Boys, and also let me know what books are on your TBR for the month of August as well. And if you've done a TBR video, feel free to link it down below, but all information that I've mentioned today will be down below in the description, including all of my own social media links. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!